Hello everybody and welcome back to Madden 2002, the Buffalo Bills franchise mode, and we are back with two more games here, continuing on in year number 2, and we have the Jets on the docket today. Now, flipping through for the roster sheet for this again, the numbers that the Jets have are just perplexing. They're just head-scratching because nothing on their offense would imply that they have anything that can even back up those numbers. Their highest receiver is an 80 overall. Their quarterback is a 71 overall. There's nothing going on here. Like, there's just absolutely nothing going on. So, I don't know why the game is valuing the Jets as highly as they are. From what I can see, they're not a very good team. And last year's results would indicate that they're not a very good team, as they finished one game better than we did at 8-8. They actually beat us in Week 17 to get to 8-8. They were 7-8 heading into that game. They could have easily finished 7-9, and we could have finished 8-8. But not everyone can have what they want, right? So, but the Jets were a thorn in our side last season. They beat us in both games. The first game was relatively close in Week 5, and then the last week of the season, our team was completely uncompetitive. Was really waiting for the offseason, I guess, waiting for that trip to Cancun. I don't know, but it's a new year this year. We have a slightly better roster here, but apparently the game thinks that the Jets do as well. But it is a little bit different, man. Vinny Testaverde has, I almost graduated, been recording too much CFB, but has retired. And so now the Jets are going to have to stick with Chad Pennington, which is something they were reluctant to do last year. Remember, we saw both Pennington and Testaverde last season. We saw them both kind of mixed in and out. The Jets did that a lot last year with Lamont Jordan and Curtis Martin as well. So Curtis Martin didn't have as explosive as a year last year because they were really just playing around. I mean, they were really just rotating guys in and out, and they really don't have the depth to do it. So it was kind of a bold strategy, and it really did not pay off, Cotton. So can't be super shocked here, but things are paying off on our first offensive drive here in the rain up in Buffalo. It wasn't Sammy Morris, it was Eric Moulds on an end around here, getting us a huge boost on offense, and then Jabri Mersma almost getting into the end zone, getting his first touchdown of the season. But we're going to have to continue waiting. But Sammy Morris is going to get himself another touchdown on the season, and that's definitely not his first. That is now touchdown number 4 for Sammy Morris on the year here in just 3 games. So he is on an incredible pace right now here. Also yardage-wise, he's already got well over 200 yards on the season. So fast forward again, we were back on offense on a 3rd and 2. Dilfer going to flip this one way out to the sidelines, and I believe it was Moulds had to come back and try and grab it, snag it with one arm. It was very close to the line to gain here. Maybe had to come back for it, but I think he is still going to have the first down. So 1st and 10 here from now for the Bills once again here in I formation. Going to hand this one off to Sammy Morris and let him do his thing, bringing some guys with him here. He's going to pick up another first down and get us inside the red zone. So we are moving on offense pretty easily right now against this Jets defense, something that we could not do at the very end of last season, but we are doing it here. So 1st and 10 here from the Jets 19. Dilfer flips one across the middle to Remersma. Remersma cuts up field, brings a couple guys with him, and gets a first down inside the 10 of New York. And now we are cooking, baby. We are about to lay it on to this in-state rival. In-state in air quotes, by the way, air quotes. On 2nd and goal here, we're going to hand off to Morris to finish things off again. He says, "Get out of my way," as he just busts his way up the middle and gets another touchdown. That is touchdown number 5 if you're keeping count, because I am. Touchdown number 5 for Sammy Morris. So the rushing attack is something that the Jets were not prepared for, as we take a quick 14-0 lead over the Jets after just 1 quarter of play here. Got to set the tone early in the division. Our only win so far on the season is a division win, so I'd love to have 2 early on here. But Sammy Morris has other plans. He coughs up the football after having such an amazing game to start. He's going to put the football on the ground. It is wet, so I'll give him that. I'll give him his mercy here. It is wet outside, but still a huge blunder here early in the second quarter. But we fast forward way later. And the Jets are now moving as Pennington's finally able to hit Santana Moss, who's had a very odd season this year. His yardage is very, very low, but he's got 8 touchdowns somehow. I don't know. I'm very confused. Or I think that was last year's numbers, but it was just very odd. Very odd stats, to say the least. He was not really lighting anything up last year, but 8 touchdowns, so which did lead the Jets receiving core. But now with goal to go here, we have some good boosts here on defense now, as Jamie Duncan, our new free agency acquisition, our big free agency acquisition, gets in on Pennington and makes him eat some turf here. And now the clock is running as the Jets try to get back up to the line here. Under 20 seconds left to go, all the way back to the 14. And Pennington takes the snap. Pressure on once again, and he flips it out and nearly has it in his hands. I think it's Richie Anderson, the fullback, but he cannot get there in time. And that was Eric Flowers creating the penetration and getting in on Pennington once again, man. So Pennington under quite a lot of pressure, man. We were just bringing it to him. So on 3rd and goal here now, 12 seconds left to go. Pressure's coming again. Pennington gets rid of it and finds an open target in the back back of the end zone. And I think it was Laverne Coles, maybe, or no, I think it was Hatchett who was in the back of the end zone who made the catch, but was well out of bounds. So 4th and goal for the Jets here, and this drive just completely kind of stalls out for the Jets after, really, really kind of building that momentum. So walking away with 3 points. Again, that was something that was big in the New England game, was our defense just really showing up in the red zone, like really playing well in the red zone. We kind of lost that in Jacksonville, but looks like we are kind of bringing that back here against the Jets here in this game. And now Wayne Sherbert trying to make some moves here in the secondary, gets inside the Bills 35, and now the Jets have another scoring chance potentially if they can continue that momentum here. We saw it stall out just a second ago at the end of the first half, but what can the Jets do now? So on 2nd and 5, Pennington with a handoff here, and kind of a weird and awkward tackle, and they're going to say that Henry Jones got a little bit too much of the face mask. So I think it was already 2nd and 5 because of a penalty. So another penalty is going to give them the other 5. And it's going to be another fresh set of downs for the Jets here. So just mental mistakes here on defense, not really helping us out. So on 1st and 10, pressures in the backfield immediately, but somehow Curtis Martin finds a way to get out of it, bringing guys with him. I have no idea how he got out of that arrangement. No idea how. He was dead to rights in the backfield and somehow finds open space and gets another first down. So fast forward to a 3rd and goal here, trying to keep him off, trying to get him off the field, and beautiful coverage in the end zone here, breaks up that pass to Sherbert, and the Jets are going to have to settle for 3 once again. So again, man, defense coming up huge, preventing 6 and accepting 3. That is the kind of stuff we like to see. So on 4th and goal, the kick is up from Hollis, and it is good. Just another chip shot from Collins, and now the Jets are cutting the lead a little bit here, but after 3 quarters, 14-6 is still, or 14-6 is now the score, and our 2 touchdowns in the first quarter is still the only offense to speak of for the Bills here. So just got to get something rolling here, because the Jets are clearly showing that they can roll and play some offense, as Pennington's able to hit Sherbert on the sideline here. Look at that, dude, just dropped it exactly where it had to be, and Pennington was not making passes like that. I tell you, man, his last year numbers were pretty rough. Even this year, he's turned the ball over a lot, and last year it was a big problem for him as well, but he's been all right in this game here. But pressure is on. It's going to get home to Pennington, and he's going to get sacked once again here. So the Jets O-line really just kind of struggling to protect their quarterback, which I think is probably an issue last year as well. Again, why I'm questioning why the team is valued the way they are, because I doubt they have the prospects or just the skill on their offensive line either. So But Collins is getting quite a bit of work here as he gets the Jets now within at least 5, getting the Jets up to 9 points on the day here. Collins has been their MVP. So 9-14, got to get something going here on offense. If we can even just kill the remainder of the clock, we'll be all right. And Sammy Morris understands the assignment. Huge gain on the ground, and he's going to get not just past midfield, but well into Jets territory. And he hasn't done a whole lot that we've seen in the rest of the game here, but he's just been plugging away, getting the yardage. You can see the yards per carry at the bottom, so he's been doing what we need him to do, but we still need to see this offense do something other than nothing here. So out of the 2-minute warning, one more first down ought to put us in a good position here, and Sammy Moore's, again, understanding that assignment, getting that first down, and finally the running attack just breaks through against this Jets defense. So 2nd and 3 here, the Jets are still burning some timeouts, but Morris is going to get another first down, and we are at the very least in field goal range, which should put the game away regardless, but we are in a prime spot to win here. But on 1st and goal, Sammy Morris has other ideas. He's got other ideas. He says, I'm done. I'm finishing this game right here, right now. And he gets himself his 3rd touchdown of the day, which, again, if you're counting, because I am, that gives him 6 on the season, man. 6. And Sammy Morris, man, we talked about it all last season, how he was just the brightest spot of our offense, just the best thing that is working about this offense, and he proves it again in this game, man. Just keeps on proving it as Dilford. We're going to see what Dilford did today. We're going to get a look at it, okay? We're going to get a look. Dilford hasn't had a terrible start to the season, but clearly this game, the offensive just kind of a stalling here in the second half of the game. I mean, just that it's not something that we can kind of do, but our defense really showed up in this game. So our defense might be a lot better than we thought, because in both of our division games, our defense completely smothered both the Patriots offense and the Jets offense. So that might be something that we can really lean on here. Again, it was something that we lost in Jacksonville, but I think Jacksonville's a better team than we are in almost every aspect. So it's not super shocking that Jacksonville was able to kind of roll on our defense here. So Dilfer, not, I mean, I don't know, whatever. Just honestly, whatever. The completion percentage is bad, the yardage is low, but there's no touchdowns and no interceptions. So, like, he didn't make any mistakes, but he did not lead this team to a win. Sammy Morris completely won this game for us, so that is the takeaway. Like, that is the takeaway. But our defense was also just completely dominating. That is also the takeaway, man. 3 for 13 on third down for the Jets. They can't win doing that. So, we have another familiar opponent from last season here in the San Diego Superchargers. We're heading all the way out to San Diego. Still in September, so we will have the baseball diamond on the ground still, which is always a fun detail. I'm glad they put that in. But either way, so we will be playing at the Chargers, who also have a little bit of a different look. Not like a huge, like, different look or anything, but they were also another 8-8 team from last season. Missed the playoffs here by just a game or so, and probably are looking to maybe rectify that. But as you saw from their stats at the beginning screen right there, they're kind of far off. they're not very close to hitting that mark, and at least not as close as we are. I think we're 10 overall points higher than they are. So there's a lot of holes around on the roster. So the big thing to note about the Chargers here is that Doug Flutie's gone. Doug Flutie has retired and he is out. So it is now the Drew Brees show, which upsets me because I was hoping to kind of make a move for Drew Brees. I was kind of hoping we could get Drew Brees. Someone mentioned about getting Tom Brady, which I've mentioned before. He's not in my game. I don't know why. I probably need to emulate this game to have him in it. I don't know why he's not on my copy of the game, but I would love to get Drew Brees. That was kind of my plan, but now the Chargers definitely have a need for him, so there's no doing that. And Sammy Morris, we've got a need for this guy as he gets out in open space again. Can anybody catch up to him? It's a foot race inside the 20 here, and he's going to get inside the end zone for the first touchdown of the day, and he just continues his reign of terror against opposing defenses. A 76-yarder from scrimmage, and after a 3-touchdown day, he's the first name that we're calling in the second game, man. He just is on a freaking tear. There's just no other words to describe it. I'm running out of them as Sammy Morris, man. The dominant force in this offense, and if the Chargers cannot silence this run game, then I don't know if there's going to be any way for them to win. But the Chargers have worked their way inside, across midfield, and they've got a special running back of their own in LT, who's grabbing some guys with him here and getting the first down and plenty more. But LT did not have the kind of season that you would expect him to have last year. I believe he battled injury, and we saw a rotation of Chargers running backs last year kind of carry a brunt of the load. Only a little over 500 yards last season, so he's already off to a pretty hot start this year as well, so maybe he's having his resurgence this season. But Drew Brees with plenty of time to throw, and when you give him that much time to throw, he's eventually going to find an open target here. We had plenty of guys trying to get in there, but just could not get any pressure on the quarterback until Brees could find Curtis Conway. And had to throw across his body to do it, but he did still manage to find an open receiver. So, task failed successfully, if you will. So, fast forward to 3rd and 7, and this is where our defense excels, and that is exactly why, man. We had Coward in there getting some pressure on LT early and bringing him down before he could even get close to the sticks. So, this is, again, man, what we just talked about it. This is what our defense is excelling at, and we forced the Chargers to take 3 points early in this game, man. I love to see that. I want to keep seeing that all year long if we can. I'd love to see our defense continue to do that. If you give us enough time and chances, we'll eventually score enough to win. So just keep forcing them to take field goals, and then that'll be a mission accomplished for our defense. So 7-3 is your score after 1 quarter of play. We're still reeling on one big play, so we need Dilfer to come through for us here on a 3rd and 8 here on our own territory. Dilfer floating this one out here across, and he finds Peerless Price. And Peerless Price, who has not done much this season here, he's kind of fallen a little bit further down the depth chart. There's not a ton of opportunities for him to get catches and targets, but he gets one here. And so Peerless Price here, giving us a huge boost on offense, getting us into San Diego territory. So nice to see number 81 doing something. But fast forward to another 3rd and 4, and Morris here has to run around the line of scrimmage. Does find an opening, though, and I think he does have enough for the first down, even though he gets brought down back behind the line. I think he still was able to get at least a yard across. So 1st and 10 here for the Bills. We're continuing to move once again. Another pitch out to Sammy Morris, getting on the outside edge, picking up plenty of blocks, and racing towards the pylon, but he's going to get brought down just shy, but not before he gets inside the 5-yard line. Look at the kind of day he's already having in the first half. Already over 100 yards in just 2 quarters, man. Not even 2 complete quarters. He's just completely feasting. So on 3rd and goal, give it off to 33, man. Let him finish this. Actually, it's 25. It's Travis Henry. And Travis Henry breaking a tackle in the backfield and managing to finish off this play. Finish off this drive, man. When you have a rotation of running backs like that, I mean, what can you do? What can you do? So, sorry for cutting out this drive. I had to fast forward because my recording got all messed up. I didn't realize. It happens, dude. My recording gets messed up. I missed, like, the whole build-up to the scoring play, and this is the only, like, clear play from this drive that I had. But regardless, LT answers back with a rushing touchdown of his own, so the Chargers are firmly in this one. We're going back and forth. Now, Dilfer here flips this one after Mersma, and that's going to get us inside the Chargers 40. We're going to call timeout here with 36 seconds left to work here in San Diego in the first half, and we can maybe continue to add on to our lead a little bit here. But we're going to bleed the time down after the first play. Stahl and I were going to bleed the time, give it off to Christie here for a deep field goal, and he manages to nail it, a 53-yarder. And again, guys, I do tweak it here in a couple weeks, in a couple games. I think the Bears game might be the first one. I can't remember. But either way, like that is going to change. So we managed to take a 7-point lead over the Chargers thanks to Christie's field goal, which puts us in a pretty good position heading into the second half here. But we're still going to need to play some pretty dominant football on either side. So Dilfer here leading things across midfield already, and he finds Eric Molds for a first down that's going to get us in San Diego territory and set up another potential scoring chance. But it's already 3rd and 9. The Chargers defense showing some force here. Dilfer takes the snap here all day to throw, and he takes a heave towards the end zone, and that pass is going to get broken up by Junior Seau, of course. Who else, man? The big linebacker, in coverage, mind you, managed to break that one up. So now we have to bring out Christie and try and extend this lead to 10, and the kick is up, and it is good once again. Christie, man, our GOAT, our special teams GOAT. Not for long. Again, he's only 72. Once I change the kicking sliders, it's going to affect everything. So 20-10 now the score here, but the Chargers will not be silenced as LT gets out into open space. Can anybody catch up to him? And yes, they can. He fumbles the football out of bounds, but it's not going to matter. But he finally does get caught up and pushed out of bounds at about the 1-yard line, like the 1 or 2 yard line. So the Chargers in a good position here to score. And on 2nd and goal, they're going to hand this one off to LT, and he's going to finish the job once again, man. And so it is just a running back battle. And we kind of expected this much. And in real life, it kind of became that whenever you played the Chargers, even though they would eventually get the quarterback thing figured out. But now, at the end of the 3rd quarter here, we were just within 3 points, okay? The Chargers are right on our tails, man. They're riding on us. It is a shootout. So 3rd and 1 for the Chargers here. They're going to hand it off to LT once again. He's going to get stuffed at the line, but I think he's going to fall forward. He's going to get a favorable tackle animation, and that's still going to give him a first down. So the Chargers are going to continue this drive. So fast forward to 2nd and 10 now at about the Bills 26. Hand off to LT again, bouncing outside, picking up a lot of blocks here, getting open space, and he's across the goal line for another touchdown. And LT cannot be stopped, dude. He can't be stopped. Someone has to stop him. 3 touchdowns on the day. He's absolutely feasting. He came into this game with just 2, so now he's completely doubled, more than doubled his touchdown production in this game alone, man. He is just feasting on us. So the Chargers finally take the lead here, and now coming out of the 2-minute warning on a 3rd and 2, we're going to hand off to Sammy Morris, our running back, and he's going to get into open space here. Gets caught up by the shoestrings. I thought he was gone, man. I thought he had it. I thought he was gone, but it's a huge game nonetheless here. Now we're going to run the hurry up here inside the 30. It looks like we're at about the San Diego 25, and Dilfer's going to take the snap, quickly releases it and finds an open target. Westbrook across the middle, who cuts up field here and nearly gets brought down inside the end zone. He was very, very close to scoring. We haven't called too many receivers out in this video at all. We've just not been passing the football all that much at all. But Westbrook gives us a huge boost, and now we're going to race all the way up to the goal line here, and we got to be careful about scoring too quickly, because I don't know if our defense can stop San Diego right now. But on 1st and goal, it's a quick flip to Mersma in the back of the end zone. He tries to make the diving catch, but he's well out of bounds, and he can't even hold the football in, so it doesn't matter regardless. So 2nd and goal here, 1:27 left to work. Dilfer hands this one off to Morris, because that should work, but Junior Seau's there once again, just breaking that play up here. So now 3rd and goal, got to rush back up to the line here, just a minute and change left to work. We got to get into the end zone, man. Just a couple yards. Can we get it, man? Can we get it? Dilfer going to try and throw for a pressure immediately, and he hits Eric Molds in the hands, and Eric Molds just cannot pick it up, man. That one is right to his shins, so not a very good pass, but Eric Molds did have hands on it. So 4th and goal down to our last opportunity. We have to get in the end zone. Dilfer again flips this one out and bobbled around. Westbrook cannot come down with it. It was right there. It was a quick pass. It was a bullet of a pass here, but Westbrook, man, still gets hands on it. And, yeah, that's kind of it here. But on 3rd and 1, LT here, the Chargers back in their own area here. All we had to do is force a punt, and we couldn't do it. LT gets the first down, and that's going to be victory formation for the Chargers. And we lose the shootout with San Diego, man. They're going to extend to 3rd and 1 on the season, to 3rd and 1, to 3 and 1 on the season, and we fall to 2 and 2. So this is kind of one of those games here. I think this is the first game of the season where I feel like we probably should have won it. Again, the Jaguars game was close too, but I think the Jags were a better team. I think that cream was always probably going to rise to the top. And in this game, I think we did definitely play well enough to win. Especially in the second half, man, our defense could not keep up, just couldn't keep up with LT. And again, man, the red zone performance on the offensive side of the ball was kind of a big factor to point to. That's a big thing to look at. I think we struggled with that in the Jacksonville game as well. So just kind of something to note here, something to look at. So Dilfer again, man, just not a terrible game, but just not doing enough to help us win, man. The completion percentage was better in this game, but I mean, you got to find a way to get into the end zone, man. We got so much money and so much talent in the receiving corps. Got to find a way to get it to those guys. I mean, it's just inexcusable. You got to get it to those guys. And so, we can't keep paying guys like Eric Moulds that much money, and he's not getting catches in the end zone. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I'm running out of patience as the GM, but there's not a solution at quarterback right now, especially not at the deadline, which we are firmly zooming past. So we have the Jets again. The schedule's kind of weird this season, but we do have the Jets again. So hope to see you guys when we play New York in New York.